Once again, we are at the descending trend line for UJ, and as you can see on the daily, we have very bullish candles, green candles, pretty much all green candles except for the little indecisive red candles, which was periods of consolidation, so we don't really need to worry about that. It seems like the dollar yen is actually looking for a new higher high. So in this case, I'm not actually looking for shorts, even though we are in a downtrend. So we might actually look for trend continuation after some pullback. So in this case, on the daily, we have a little head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders reversal pattern, and I'm looking for a retest of the neckline. As you can see, this is the neckline over here before price makes a run for the previous resistance over here, which is the almost the 1.109, the 109 level. That is one scenario we have for the dollar yen. Another scenario is just a breakdown after the retest of this zone. So the retest of the zone let me just get my pen. Retest of the zone, and it falls into our neckline once again. So really want to see what happens at this zone before doing anything with this pair, because this pair is pretty volatile, but compared to like very volatile along with the GJ pair. But with US30, if US30 makes all-time highs, we can definitely see trend continuation to the upside. So something like that. I'm using the pen tool. I know it looks kind of ugly, but just still trying to figure it out. So that's that's UJ right there. Skipping to the next pair, the euro dollar. I'm seeing euro dollar still in a downtrend, even though we have wicks wicking off the 1.09 level. I think on Thursday or Friday we had the euro monetary news, which shook the markets. The markets shooketh. But price is now at our descending trend line. So at descending trend line, my trend line is a little bit funky. So descending trend line, I'm looking for shorts. So either the price comes up to retest this support right over here. Let me just highlight it for you guys. So this support over here, and makes another low, or retest this area, the 1.09 area. So that's one scenario that I see. So we have on a lower time frame, price makes one sec, a retest of this area before going to the next one, and making a run, a fall down to our 1.09 level. That's one scenario. Another scenario, well, that's like the main scenario I'm looking at. Another scenario is this descending trend line breaking, because this descending trend line has been holding since this July. So the more times the trend line is tested, the higher the probability of it being broken. So if it breaks, we could look for trend continuation to the upside. So this thing breaks to the upside, pulls back, consolidates, and heads for the next zone, which is almost the 1.30. But I don't really see that happening in the near future. I'm more bearish on this pair. That's two scenarios for Euro USD. So next is Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, I have it marked up already. Same thing as with Euro USD. A small a deeper retracement before it falls back to our 67, the 0.67 area. So on the let's go on a 4 hour. So on a 4 hour, we are consolidating at this broken support. So this support, and it was broken by this bearish leg. So let's go back to the 4 hour. So 4 hour, we have this impulse move, consolidation at the broken level. So in order to see shorts this week, I actually want to see a break of this support. So this support, if you zoom in, is around here. So let me make this red. It's around here. So if I see a break of this, and then a retest, so I'll be going in on the retest of this break. Stop loss would be above this high, which is around 40 pips, and then the take profits would be at the 0.71 area, as said earlier. So that's going to give you around a 3.4 risk reward ratio trade. And looking at it on the daily, that looks good on the daily. That is a 38.2 retracement on a daily. And as we can see, we have indecisive candles at the 38.2 as well. So that is one scenario for the Aussie dollar. Another scenario is we actually go to the upside. So the upside scenario is I see a retest of this support that we drew earlier, and to the upside. So this upside, I'll be taking partial profits at the next broken support, which is over here at the 693 level. So if you enter here at the retest of support, stop loss would be very good. So I'll put my stop loss just like a 20-30 pip stop loss, and then I'm keeping my TP open. However, TP would be at the descending trend line, which is also aligning with the 79 fib level, which is also a level back here. Let me see if this video is actually still recording. If it's not, but yeah, it's still recording. Awesome. So that's one level. So we have a short scenario and a long scenario. And then at that point, you can close out and look for short opportunities. But that is probably within the next 2 weeks, within the next week or so. So you gotta see what actually happens. Wait for a retest and then entry. So that's the odd dollar, Aussie dollar. What's next? The pound dollar. So we have a pound dollar. We were actually short pound dollar last week, but we exited with 10 pips in profit. Why? Because this was actually the impulse move consolidation, and I actually saw it that morning. That's why I exited before we were knocked out. So we entered around the 1.234 area with our stop loss above this high, and if we stayed in, we would have been out like 50 pips around. So that was a good call. We are in, it's kind of like a little uptrend, you can say. We have a impulse leg, consolidation, another impulse leg. So in this case, because this level was broken, a previous support level was broken, I'm looking for a retest of the broken level, bam, for trend continuation. Now where would my target be? My target would be, let me get my tool. Let's say we entered here at the retest, and targets, stop loss, right? Let's say stop loss. This is just a rough thing. Take profits. Targets would be at the descending trend line. So my take profits would be at the descending trend line, which is also a little level. So I'll keep my take profits open actually, and take profits along the way. But my ultimate take profit will be around the 1.26, 1.27 area, which gives me around a 1 to 5 risk reward trade. So that is GU. Now if we see that's one scenario for GU. Now if we see a short, okay, English, so for shorting opportunities, so a scenario for a shorting opportunity, so we are on a daily, we have a broken support. So this right here was support, it broke, price is coming, tracing back up for, you can say, the retest. So in this case, on a weekly, it's also a downtrend. However, on a weekly, looking at the candles, the candle wicked off the 1.20 area, and last week finished very bullish. However, this right here was a very bearish impulse move. So if I'm looking for shorting opportunities, I'll be looking for shorting opportunities at the descending trend line, which is around here. So around over here, so price making the next move up before it falls back down to my final TB will be the 1.20 area. So if entering, of course you would look for candlestick confirmation at this area. If it does reach to this area, stop loss would be just above this previous support there, and my final take profit will be at the 1.20 area. It's going to give us a 3.6 risk reward trade. So that's a short opportunity off the daily. Now going to the 4 hour, short opportunity off the daily. If it does reach up there and price comes down to retrace there, I would actually take a buy up to here, close it off here, and possibly look for a counter trend opportunity. But you don't want, if that happens, you don't want to overtrade. So if that short, if this short was actually a fail, you'll be giving back your profits. So if you're content with your longs, don't overdo it. That's GU. That's too much on GU. Crosses. Let's go on a crosses. Gold. H4 on gold looks like Head and Shoulders. I need a drink. Head and Shoulders. Here we go. Friday we had a wick off of this zone. Well, barely off of this zone. Maybe I didn't draw the zone good enough, but well, for shorting opportunities, I will look for a break of this support. This is a zone, not a level. So right over here, let me just make a yellow. So for shorting opportunities, this is also a trend line, very steep. So I won't, I'll just pretty much ignore the trend line. However, for shorting opportunities, I will look for a break, a clean break of retest, and at the retest, bam. Also, there's a retest of the trend line, but again, like we said, just ignore the trend line here. But I mean, you don't have to ignore it. So this is around a a very hefty stop loss. So 493. So you would have to adjust your stop loss, but this is a rough picture. And then I'll keep my take profits open. However, I'll take partials at this level, which is the 1450, and then at the end of the Head and Shoulders, if that's a Head and Shoulders. So that's gonna give us almost a 125 risk reward for gold. Now this is on a 4 hour, so you need to be patient. On a daily, we're still on an uptrend. So for the bigger picture, for gold to actually start a bearish move down, we would need a break of this higher low. So a break of that, a retest, and then continuation. So that's gold. But I am bearish on gold, looking at the candlesticks as well, because this is a weekly neckline. As we can see from last week, we have a weekly neckline and pullback. Looking at the candles, wicks, 2 weeks of wicks off of the weekly neckline. So a deep retracement, possibly to this level, the 1450 level, before any trend continuation. So something like that. So that's why I am kind of bearish on gold, at least to the 1450 mark. Oops. So that's gold. We did UJ. So moving on to Euro Odd. Euro Odd week daily. Price came down, actually approached our ascending trend line. Wicked off and actually closed above our trend line. So may actually see if it's closing above, if it's staying close above our weekly trend line, we can see a pullback into this neckline. And if it stays bearish over here, because overall trend is higher lows. However, if it continues on this downtrend over here, small little downtrend, I could see a break, eventually a break of this ascending trend line. So break of this ascending trend line. Well, that's probably not to this week, maybe next week, like the next week, next 2 weeks. 4 hour. On a 4 hour, this is what we are seeing. We have this was all news. This right here was news. So on a 4 hour, because of this bullish candle off of news, we may see something like this. At least to, like, I guess the 1.625 before it pulls back once again, maintaining this downtrend. Okay, so that's Euro. All the EA, that's EA. Next one, USD CHF. I think, no, crap. This was supposed to be part of the main pairs, but I guess I skipped over it. USD CHF still consolidating, so we are gonna look for a consolidating trade off of this pair. So consolidation pair, you are selling the tops and buying the bottoms. So in this case, since we are around the top, we took a sell on Friday, or some of you, or sent out a analysis on Friday, and we took it around here. Stop loss was here, and take profits would be like down here, something like that. And it still stands. So it'd be something like that. Very simple consolidation trade for USD CHF, the dollar Swiss. On a daily is still consolidating. This pair is slow, so I just don't like it. Crap, need to make okay, so that's around there. There's also a zone. I'm not sure why it's not showing up on a daily, because it's showing up on a 4 hour. This yellow zone shows up on a 4 hour, but so that's that. We have one setup here. However, if we do manage to actually break this, because this is a zone that is derived from this zone, so this is the first, second, third, fourth test of this zone, so it might actually break to the upside. So I actually retrace to the upside to retest the 1.0 area. So that's 2 scenarios. And at the 1.0 area, we have a level 2. So we might actually consolidate at the 1.0. But then at that point, it might actually drop after consolidation, or it might break and go for the next area, which is the 1.01. Boop. And that's all gonna be in a span of like 100 pips. Yeah, 100 pips. So this pair does not really attract me, or it's not really attractive personally to me. So next pair, XRP and XRP. Just gonna leave this up to Crypto Wizard, but this thing has been consolidating heavy at a weekly support. So this right here is pretty much, oh my god. Hello. Okay. So yeah, this is a consolidating pair, heavy consolidation. Haven't been able to call actually like a decent trade, but I've been scalping. So you have your zone as well here and here. So if we're playing consolidation, you're selling the tops, buying the bottoms, and we're just gonna do it until it breaks. But eventually something's gonna break, so you don't want to stay playing consolidation for long, because one of those times it will stop you out. So that's XRP. I don't really want to get that much into detail with it, but I'll probably look for buy positions once it retraces back down to my 0.255 area, around here, something like that. But I'll have to see what happens with this pair. All right, moving on to pound Swiss ASMR on the weekly ASMR on the weekly pound Swiss. We are still on a downtrend, bearish leg pullback into our broken support right there. Now if you draw your fibs, where is this pullback going? So this pullback, this thing aligns with our 38.2. However, because of the candles, very bullish candles, I'll wait it out. On a daily, we're sitting on the broken support. Now here it's making higher, on a 4-hour it's making higher lows. So let me just illustrate it for you. Leg consolidation, another leg consolidation, another leg. So we're looking for consolidation. So the next possible scenario is more consolidation. So consolidation at this area, and maybe looking at the candles, we might even see a next push up. Whoa, next push up. So I'm trying to drag the chart to the thing. Next push up deeper into our fib levels. So right here. And at that point we might actually, or I guess you might look for sells at the neckline. So these push ups will be around 500 pips. That is pretty achievable with a pair like this. A pair like the pound. But that's probably gonna happen in, I guess, the next 2 weeks. We'll see. Actually, no, that's around 500 pips. So I'll actually see. I waited out on this pair because of how bullish the candles look. I won't actually look for sells anymore. I know we took a sell over here, 50 pips, around 50 pips before the next move. So trend trading, going with a trend on pound pairs, that is your best bet. Moving on to the next pair. What is the next pair? Let me clean up my chart. Next pair, we did GA, one of my favorite pairs. GA. So this pair, downtrend, heavy consolidation, seems like it made a higher high here, and it may actually, looking at the candles, it may actually go for the higher, for the this high over here, looking at the candles, because this candle, pair is holding the ascending trend line, holding ascending trend line and looking at the very bullish candles going on a 1 hour. Looking at the very bullish candles, we have an impulse leg retest, wicks off the previous resistance. So over here, back here, previous resistance, it wicks off and it goes back up. So that is a 38.2. I already pulled the fibs earlier today. It's a 38.2 wick off, and it goes up to you guys just took partials at the 0.272 extension level. So if you took a buy here, which I did on Friday, even though I said I was done, but I lie. So that's a good trade, but that's the past. Going into the future, we may see consolidation because of the resistance for the next push up. Can you guys like not just turn on the light? Put a towel over it. Like drape it over the whole wall thing. So that's that. That's GA. Looking for more trend. Looking for that. For the next push up to the 1.825. Whatever. That is my outlook for GA. Bullish. Bullish. So GA and EA bullish for next week until my viewpoints change. GBP CAD, the pound CAD. Okay, so we have a break of resistance over here, which is also consolidation. So a retest of broken resistance over here, boop, and go for trend continuation. So looking at, right here, as you guys can see, we have, it was still in consolidation. Is mom cooking? We already ate, so she already ate too. So okay, so we have leg, a small little leg. It's still it was still in consolidation, so you can't really say anything. But now that you're looking in the past, you can see this was a little wedge before price broke out. So the more times a resistance is touched with these patterns, the more likely price is able to, or more likely price will break out. But it's not always the case. Oh my god, I burped. Hopefully the mic did not pick that up. So yeah, so we are on looking at a daily or the weekly. So looking at this huge candle, this very big candle, it is sitting at previous support that was broken by this bearish leg consolidation, and this is the first time since like 9 months that price is back up to the 1.66 level. So it's very interesting. This is gonna be a very interesting pair to look out, but I definitely see a pullback because it's the first time that price is back up to the 1.66. Definitely a pullback. Now we can measure this pullback. So where could it pull back to? Gonna pull out my fibs on the impulse leg. Now the pullback that I drew into the pullback that I'm expected is around the 68.2 to 70.70 the 70.5, and maybe even the 79. So that is our whole zone right there, and maybe you can look for longs at the retest of the broken consolidation resistance. There you go. And take profits would be actually still open. However, you would take profits at the market structure and also Fibonacci extension levels. So let me see. So yeah, that's it. And also we can actually see a head and shoulders pattern going on. So this is your I guess this right here is your left shoulder, right shoulder, your head. This is the break. That is the neckline. So even like this retest, the pullback into the zone is the retest of the neckline if you're looking at it at the inverse head and shoulders point of view. So that's GBP CAD. Another scenario for GBP CAD, actually, if it breaks the retest. So if it fails the retest break, so if it did something like this, let me erase this. So if it did something like it falls and it retraces past our 100% retracement, and it goes further down and goes back up a little bit, I would look for sells, actually, short position. And because it's GBP CAD or a pound pair, the stop loss would be a little bit bigger, and take profits would be at the zone. So it'd be something somewhat similar to this if the retest fails. So that's gonna give you like a 3.3 risk reward. Next pair, Euro Jappy, EJ. I'm not sure why I still do analysis on the JPY pairs, the yen pairs. I don't like it. So it still stands. I'm still short biased on this pair, but we'll see where to short it. So EJ, this is still recording, right? Cool. We have a bullish engulfing off of this 1.15, 1.16 zone, so it extended out a little bit because of this rally. So that analysis from last week still stands. However, it is pulling back. Now, where is it pulling back to? It has around 100 more pips to go before we look for shorting opportunities over here. So let me get my ruler out and see if it's really 100 pips. So 120, 130 pips left to go. So if you're long on EJ right now, I think you still have like a little ways to go. We have approached a slight resistance here, which is a broken support area. Mini little broken support area by the bearish leg. First time price came up. Actually probably like the second time price came up. If this right here, if this move right here continues, so that was a 38.2 retracement by Kurana using Genshuzo and Itachi. That was really embarrassing. So your take profits would be the 272, and the last one would be the 618, which is also where we are looking for short opportunities. This video is probably going a little bit too long, so I'm just gonna speed it up. So that is your shorting opportunities at the yellow zone. So and it probably falls. However, we have also a descending trend line going down from here, so it might actually so this thing might take a while to reach our descending trend line. So okay, right there. So a little bit pullback because we have slight resistance and also a descending trend line. It breaks and looks for like a reverse pattern and something like that. That is one scenario. These are bearish scenarios because I'm bearish on EJ, but just need some patience for this to fall through. However, if this very recent descending trend line holds, I'm looking for, now this is on the daily, so it's very generalized, it's not specific, back down into the zone. So both scenarios would be back down into the zone. It is a reach, so you need to be patient. And also, this is the daily, so it's two scenarios. The only reason why I'm not doing this scenario is because that is a reach, so that's not gonna happen in the next week or so. Okay, so that's EJ. Let's go to the next one, GJ. Same thing. GJ, we have a little bit more to go until our descending trend line. So weekly, same scenario, same analysis holds for the weekly. We bounced off. We wicked off the 1.267 zone. Candles are very bullish, so shorting opportunities at market open on Sunday, probably not a good idea, in my opinion. What was I saying? GJ. So GJ have a little while to go, so I'm just gonna look on the hourly for GJ actually, because it's a volatile pair. So we have one impulse leg right over here, and you have consolidation. So consolidation right over there before the next move up. So this right here, the break. And now where is it going? So it's approaching our resistance up here, so I'm expecting more consolidation at this resistance right here. Let me try it out for you guys. Right over here. Oh my god. Huh. There you go. More consolidation there. And because of how strong the candles look right now, can actually see another push to 1.38 level. At the 1.38 level, that is a descending trend line, and that's going to determine if GJ stays on a downtrend or breaks descending trend line and makes a run for our 1.44 area, which is major level. So that's GJ. I am actually bullish on GJ for the short term. So that's GJ. For any long opportunities on GJ, I would have to look for a pullback. So a pullback into at least this zone, this level, the 1.34 level. And if I pull the fibs, here, that would be around at 38.2 retracement for long entries, which is also the previous support. Because it closed above the previous support, we can see some more continuation. That's GJ on the as more of a short-term long bias. However, if you're shorting GJ, one scenario could be shorting GJ at this level, the 1.355 level. Look for some kind of short candle confirmation before you start heading down. But because of these candles over here, very bullish candles, I want to look for short opportunities. Moving on to the next pair, final pair, US 30. Again, we broke out consolidation. I caught a trade around here, and we're up around a good number of pips. We are sitting at very close to all-time highs again, and because we broke this previous zone over here and we have wicked off and price is staying above for the time being, I can look for trend continuation trades at after the next retest of this. So in this case, I pull my fibs out. So that is almost a 38.2 retracement. So you can even actually, for this to go, let me finish my sentence. It can even actually retrace deeper for like a retest of this resistance over here, deeper before any trend continuation. For this to break all-time highs again, I feel like it needs some sort of catalyst. I don't think traders like us will just push it through to all-time highs, because there is the trade war and also like a recession up in the air. So it's like a tug of war. I need my water. Quench my thirst. Okay, so the reason why I'm saying to the upside is because good. We have a little trend line going on. So it follows this trend line. This isn't clearly, we have uptrends. So we have impulse leg, consolidation, impulse leg, consolidation, impulse leg, consolidation here, and it's highly likely that it will go for a deeper retracement before the next move up. But that's my opinion. However, if you are shorting US 30, it's a very volatile pair. You're shorting US 30. I will actually wait for price to come up here again, see what happens here, because this is, if you look closely, we have multiple retests of this area. So this area right over here, oh my god, why doesn't it select when I select it? So in this area we have multiple tests already. 1, 2, if you look very closely, we have a little retest. So bearish engulfing, wick, another wick, and heavy consolidation after this little move down. So if you're looking for shorting opportunities, I would actually look for a pullback into the zone back up here, which is near all-time highs, to short again with stop loss above the all-time highs and take profits at this zone. So at this 227,000 zone, so that's going to give you a around a 200 point trade. Very high risk to reward, especially on US 30. You're risking around at most like 40 points. And if you get lucky enough on a trade, maybe even here at the 26,800 level. But my bias is long, because you have your little thing, your impulse leg, your pattern, and probably something like that going on there for the next week or so. I could be wrong, that's just my opinion. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video. Yes, so that's pretty much for this video. I think I'm done. My back is hurting.